Part 5. Atmospheric River Event 1. Randy was coming back around slowly, but he hoped he was first. He couldn't see or hear anything, and he didn't know if he was alone. His feet seemed to be floating, not quite able to find the ground. If he focused, he could feel his body sink through his chair, then through the floor, which would become the ceiling, and then the chair all over again. He reached out in the dark to steady himself and found his arms unresponsive, but somehow his fingers were free and wiggling in the void. He didn't panic, as this sinking feeling was no longer unfamiliar, having only grown worse since his recent video store adventures. He'd gotten used to the wobble of his head, and he could always catch it before it leaned toward a shoulder, or worse, left a room without him. Though the jury was still out on how the videotape had affected his mind, he was content in the knowledge that, on a long enough timeline, every muscle in the world would weaken and die. Exploring further, he found his neck under his head after all, right where he'd left it, and he rubbed the base of his skull to get the blood train chuffing along. The soreness increasing, his fingertips kneaded a now discernible pattern into his skin, as if his fingers were independent from his brain, which was independent of his body, and they were all dancing on a keyboard rather than his thoracic spine and the root muscles of his throat. Behind his eyes he could see the results of this typing into limbo, materializing first as a rain of oozing cherry cordials, then erupting and reforming as numbers, letters, and eventually a series of increasingly alarming results on the Ask a Nurse website. The consensus of these online forums first pointed him toward cervical spondylosis, which had begun with a pinched nerve at the atlas vertebra on the base of his skull, the direct result of a lifetime of watching movies too close to the screen, exacerbated by the bullet from a sniper's high-powered rifle. His painful self-massage intensified as he scrolled down on this list of results, fingers dancing between his optic nerve and his occipital lobe to highlight the requisite brain cancer, helpfully followed by all the cancers, and then his intergalactic search engine was redirected to Facebook somehow, where the hearts and smileys flew at his face like cheerful bullets, and his body...